Rhonda Jones. For those of you I have not met, I am the Mesa Health Promotion Consultant. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, just to qualify me. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse now for 30 years. I've worked in the hospital. Of course, every nurse has to start in the hospital, and I've worked at just about every area: medical, surgical, orthopedic, cardiovascular. I've witnessed babies being born and assisted with it, and I've even, unfortunately, watched people die and carted them to the morgue. After I completed my career in clinical nursing or hospital nursing, I moved on. I decided I wanted to work on the other end of the healthcare spectrum. Instead of treating people for acute illness, I decided I wanted to work with people preventing illness, to educating them on how to support good health and pursue wellness and optimal well-being. So that led me here to Mesa as the health promotion consultant. Around all those things, nursing and my work in the hospital and with Mesa, in my other time, in my leisure time, I do personal training. I am a nutrition coach. And I'm also, I had an opportunity in my life, once I got tired of doing fitness. I used to teach group exercise classes. I still do, and train people. I got to a point where I wanted to compete. So I had the opportunity to get involved in a sport called bodybuilding. It's another subculture people aren't familiar with, but I competed as an amateur in the bodybuilding sport, and I gained a professional status. So that was a big deal for me. I tell that to people everywhere I go. And I definitely, for this session, because we're talking about movement, these next 3 sessions, movement and movement for muscle, and we'll talk about sleep. I'm coming from a place of not only knowledge, academic knowledge, but also experience and professional pursuit. So I'm going to share with you all the insider tips and secrets. And I'm just playing. Just those things I learned on my journey that might be helpful. And again, if you have questions, I'll entertain them at the end of this session. As you enter our space, share who you are and what school district you're with. We'd appreciate it. So we're talking about movement. It's called Move More. And actually, let me even qualify this even more. I want to stress that I'm talking about mindful movement. And this topic came to me during this season of COVID-19 and the pandemic, especially because those of you who had an exercise program and were engaged in fitness, COVID-19 brought us a different environment. It kind of brought barriers to our regular fitness routine and our good habits. I know for me, I wasn't able to work out like I usually could. We were not able to go to a gym. So the physical limitations were there, but also mentally, I have to admit, mentally, I just could not get myself going like I thought I would be able to. And usually in stressful situations, especially when I used to compete, all the pressure with that, I was able to push myself through. But this COVID-19, this pandemic brought some unusual, some unique circumstances. So I had to work my way through that and help people I know, followers and clients, figure out what is really healthy and necessary during this season. So the mindful movement came to me because with mindfulness, and remember our last series for the spring was mindfulness. Mindfulness is bringing awareness into our actions. So instead of doing things and our thoughts being ahead of us, which we call anxiety, or our thoughts being behind us, which we term as depression, whatever we're doing, we're being mindful about it. We're aware of our actions in the present moment. So I am encouraging you, if you get nothing else, that what we want to start doing is being mindful in everything we do. Not only for the health benefits, but you can still get those meditative benefits you get from meditation when you are mindful in everything you do. So let's talk about mindful movement. And remember, the goal with mindful movement is most of us exercise, and I'll say it, I exercise because I want to look good. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Raise your hand if you just want to look good. If that's the but this is the thing. Let's be honest. We just want to look good. I'm not trying to be a Victoria's Secret model, but I want to fit my clothes that aren't in the closet when it's time to get out of this house and go to work. But our goal really is, and looking good fits into that, but really our goal is health, wellness, and optimal well-being. So anything you're doing, okay, let that be your guide. Your goal is health, your goal is wellness, and your goal is high level well-being. And that's very important as we go through life stages. You know, in my 20s, it was just fitting into what, Jordache jeans or whatever was out then. 30s, it was about that pencil skirt. And things change. 40s, 50s is definitely health, wellness, and well-being. And if I can fit in that stuff, that's a plus. But let that be your goal. And just as an encouragement, these are the benefits of movement. Now, we all know this stuff. We read it all the time. We post about it on Facebook. The magazines tell us. But I wanted to reiterate it because sometimes we have to remind ourselves of the benefits. And especially at the beginning of the executive order to shut down here in Michigan, the benefits of exercise and movement were second in my mindset. In order to get myself moving, I had to remind myself of all the benefits I achieve when I stay active and when I keep moving. So lowers your blood pressure, okay? We know that exercise affects us in a way that it not only shifts us, and if any of you were in any of our sessions about mindfulness and stress, exercise can shift us out of the sympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our nervous system that governs stress, into our parasympathetic nervous system. So there's some types of exercise, not every type, that can lower our stress mode, lower our cortisol, especially when we do it mindfully. And for example, certain types of yoga, certain types of Pilates and calisthenics, and mindful walking will lower your blood pressure. Now, the key to that is the mindfulness. Focusing in the present, not worrying about the past, because when you attach that emotion to it, that's what moves the nervous system. That is what determines the stress response, what kind of emotion you attach to that. Exercise controls and helps us manage blood sugar. Why is this so important? Because so many people right now are in a position, if they take another step forward, they will be in metabolic syndrome or fully developed type 2 diabetes, a combination of stress, a combination of being sedentary, and a combination of being in the house with processed food, the salty, the sugary, and the savory, okay? That is the petri dish, as I'll use it for this pandemic season, for diabetes. So exercise and just simply moving can help manage blood sugar. And this is a side tip, if I forget to tell you, a great way to manage your blood sugar and to help you minimize fat gain or lose weight, if you're trying to lose weight, is to walk after you eat. Eat and go walk. 10-minute walk after, it's studies out there. So that's a free tip. Helps control weight, lowers cholesterol, relieves pain. There's a lot of people that walk around with chronic pain, and exercise, because of the way the body releases endorphins, can help you. Certain types of exercise can help mitigate the pain or the experience you feel pain. You don't feel it as intense as you do if you just sit or lay. Reduces falls. Certain types of movement can make you more kinesthetically aware. That's being aware of your body in space. When we are not aware of our body, when we don't exercise or mindfully move our body, we are more apt to not only fall, but a lot of us get in situations where we lose our balance, right? It can happen. But the difference between somebody that's aware of their body because of habitual movement and somebody that's not is that being kinesthetically aware. You don't feel your body. You're not aware that your arm is doing this or your foot, and you can't catch yourself when you fall and correct your posture. So being a person of habitual mindful movement can prevent falls because it can keep you in balance and help you to respond better when you're in imbalance. Some other things that I love to say about movement and exercise, it slows down the aging process. It makes you more chronologically better. As everybody else is going forward, you're staying there. It slows down the aging process. And that's mainly because the more you move, the more your blood circulates. The more now, and we all know that blood carries oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, to your skin, your hair, your vital organs. When we are not mobile, when we are sedentary, circulation is minimal. That's intuitive, right? I don't have to get a textbook out for that. When you are sitting at your desk and you're not moving, if you stand up, automatically you're breathing more. Automatically your heart is beating, so you are circulating more nutrients and oxygen to your brain. You're going against gravity, and to your body. So it's intuitive. It's an easy answer. It's an easy resolution that movement is one of the keys to health, wellness, and well-being. So I convinced you right. So when I'm talking about movement, these are the type of movements. And you guys, this is Rhonda's information. Copyright Rhonda after all. No, I'm just playing. Don't post this. If you post it, put Rhonda at Mesa said it. No. It's this good stuff though. And it's just for you, just for Mesa members. So when I'm talking about movement, I'm talking about activities of daily living. This is a term nurses throw around. We used to call it ADLs. We go to work and we would have to document that our patients did all their ADLs. Because when you're in the hospital and you're sick, you still need to move. If you got a loved one in the hospital, make sure they are moving, and you check on those nurses and make sure they're turning them. All those things are basic to life and health, okay? That's why it's important. You're at the hospital, sit up. If you have a loved one, I hope not, but if they're in the hospital with COVID-19, it's important that they are moving, because they have to make sure they're expanding their lungs to get oxygen in, because what the virus is doing is limiting the ability of their lungs to expand. So we can work on our lungs now while we're well, and make sure we are resilient against anything that may come against us in the future. Activities of daily living are those things we just do day to day. And now that we are working from home, it's even more important to make sure to be intentional and mindful that we were doing them. Now, back in March, April, I'll be honest with you, I was under so much I have to say I might have been a little anxious, a little stressed, and that kind of anxiety will immobilize you. You're just sitting thinking, oh, what's going to happen next? You're watching the news, you're on social media, because things were happening so fast. And I'm a person that habitually exercises. That was not a time for me to feel like a failure, I say, because I didn't go outside and run a marathon. I didn't go downstairs and do high intensity interval training. I had a lot of people, clients and different people that listened to me saying, Rhonda, help me, I'm not doing this, feeling guilt and shame. There is a time for everything. During the most intense, stressful times of your life may not be the time for you to do strenuous exercise. Now, remember, I said at the beginning, certain types of exercise can contribute to managing stress. It can lower your cortisol. There's certain type of exercise that can contribute to stress in your body. If you already have a lot of things going on and you're feeling a lot of mental stress and your body is experiencing a lot symptoms of stress, going out and running a marathon may not be the answer. Or doing high intensity intervals might be too much on your body. Being active, just doing those daily things may be the answer. Now, this is key too, because during the pandemic, high intense exercise is good, but you have to remember the consequence of that is that it increases your appetite and increases your cravings, okay? When you're stuck in the house under stress already, you already have cravings and temptations that are heightened, okay? So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where, okay, I'm working out hard and I'm stressed and I'm in the house and I have potato chips and blueberry muffins to eat, right? You're going to eat them. and you're going to eat more. Okay. So any calories you burn during the exercise session, your body's going to compensate for. So this is where wisdom is, okay, during stressful situations like we've been going through. Here is the strategic thing to do. Do exercises that don't engage your appetite, exercises that don't cause your body to release a hormone called ghrelin that makes you ferociously hungry, that makes you crave, okay? Exercises or movement, mindful movement, getting up every 60 minutes when you're sitting at your desk, going walking for your break for 15-minute intervals. Perhaps, and I even got to where I would make a list of different exercises I wanted to do throughout the day. And I remember talking to somebody about this because I had stress in such a manner because remember, we had changed how we worked. We changed the structure of our day, and we don't realize how much stress that is on us and still working at the same time. So I had to fit my structured self into a lack of structure and recreate it while working at the same time. So I made a list of different things, exercises and activities I wanted to do throughout the day. I would make a list at night. I'd grab it in the morning and try to stick to that list. Because what I found myself doing without the list, I would work all day and not realize that the end of the day came and I got nothing done because I was at this email and at this computer trying to get things done. And then I was so exhausted at the end of the day, I didn't work out. I'd sit in Facebook watching what the next event was. So I had to take control of my situation. So I did this by creating a list of just activities of the day. And this NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. NEAT, okay? I'm leaving that for you to Google. But this is key in our lives of managing weight. It's non-exercise activity that really contributes to weight management. Non-exercise activity are all those activities you do when you're awake that are not dedicated to fitness. Dedicated fitness only contributes about 30 minutes to your total calorie expenditure on the days you do it. Let's say 3 days a week. All that other time is what really makes a difference. Okay? And what people have a tendency to do, especially people who are seeking fat loss or changing their physique, they'll change their diet and go on a calorie restriction. And they'll start exercising excessively, let's say 30 minutes. And then all the time outside of that 30 minutes, they're exhausted. And what your body does, it adapts to the situation and it lowers your motivation where you find that you're not doing anything. You're not walking like you used to. You're not getting up doing the chores like you used to. Those are the things that are contributing to your everyday movement, okay? So activities of daily living, that was my primary goal during the most intense times of the pandemic. And what I encourage you to do, depending on the season of your life, if you're stressed, maybe that's all you need to do is to mindfully make sure you are executing those activities of daily living. Create a list. In the morning, I'm waking up. I'm going to spend 2 minutes in gratitude practice. I'm going to stretch for 15 minutes and then list out your activities. It might be washing the car. It might be cleaning your home office. It might be standing outside and getting sunlight for 5 minutes. Everything that you know you want to do and you know you need to do, you want to make a list of it, especially during stressful times. And then the mindful part is when you are doing it, be mindful about doing it. Focus in on that thing. You're not thinking about what is going to happen in an hour or what happened an hour ago. You are focused in on the action you're doing. Let me move on. I could talk forever. I'm walking. Walking, again, walking is the best exercise you can do, okay? I know the gyms are open. I got an email that our gym has opened up. I'm not sure that I'm ready to go there yet. And I like going outside walking in the park. I have a park around the corner. I'm an advocate of walking in nature. It's this thing called, let me see, Shinrin Shoku. I think I'm saying it right. It's a Japanese term, and actually it's called forest bathing. There's research that supports it. If you walk outside in nature, forest bathing amongst the trees, okay? And I'm not saying a power walk, I'm just saying a leisure walk. It's documented that it lowers your cortisol levels. So when you are feeling anxious or depressed, it can correct those chemicals in your body, okay? It can lower your blood pressure. Okay, it can change your outlook on life. You know, when your cortisol is lowered, your brain is able to operate in those creative areas of your brain. You can problem solve. A lot of times what I tell people to do, when you take that break from work, you're stumped on a problem, instead of going walking and worrying about what happened in the meeting, go walk in nature. Your cortisol is lowered when you are mindfully walking, and for some reason, the solution comes. That part of your brain that creates solutions, that gives you wisdom, is able to operate without being impeded, okay? It's something about nature, and perhaps somebody needs to do a study to find out if that's what's wrong with society right now. We have eliminated nature, and we've turned things into these processed environments indoors, processed lights, processed buildings and infrastructure, when the human body really thrives out in the air and the sunlight and with nature. I challenge somebody to get a grant for that. I'll work with you. No, just playing. But I I advocate walking, and walking at a comfortable pace. And actually, if you look up forest bathing, if you work with children, if you work with adolescents, there's even studies that tell that show that even when adolescents are at their most, at a heightened emotional, a negative emotional state, angry, that letting them out in nature, allowing them to in an environment that is of nature, lowers those negative emotions. They shift into more of gratitude, a calmness, just by going out in nature. So that speaks a lot to our lifestyle now and what we're doing. With walking, I'm encouraging people to just do it. Let that be a part of your NEAT. If you are going places, park further away and walk. I've noticed that now that I'm working at home versus at headquarters, I have an activity tracker, and I used to park far away, walk to the building, go up 4 flights of stairs, and in my office. While I was at work, I would visit people on other floors and go to other offices. When I started working from home, there was like almost a 400-calorie difference, just based on how this activity tracker, you know, that's not always correct, but I do have show changes. So I knew I had to do something at home, or my body was going to reflect the change in activity. So that's where we get the mindful movement. Get up and walk around your house. If it's raining outside, walk in the house. And I propose this, and believe me, this is not like me, but there were a couple rainy days where I took my dog and we walked out in the rain. I just put a raincoat on. I love the smell of the rain, and I love thunderstorms. So, and it was kind of a steaminess out there. So I'm encouraging people to, even with that, there may be some health benefits of walking in the rain, somewhat of a delight when you are feeling anxiety. So again, activities of daily living, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's when you're moving outside of your dedicated exercise time. So the days of your off days or your recovery days from fitness people, you should still be engaging in NEAT. NEAT is the key, okay? And for those of you who are pursuing weight loss, I'm gonna tell you an insider tip. I'm a personal trainer. I want people to exercise, but believe me, you don't have to exercise to lose weight. The key is what you eat. And that's in the next series coming up. But it's really the amount of food you're eating. Exercise strengthens us. Exercise helps us maintain muscle. Exercise shapes the physique. And it helps with our mood, but it's really the amount of energy that you're consuming that it determines how much mass your body carries. Time dedicated to fitness. Let's talk about that. That is that fitness time. There's 3 types of fitness, and you guys know this: aerobic, strength, and flexibility. What the CDC recommends is that people engage in some type of cardiovascular at least 3 days a week. Okay, that means getting your heart rate up. If you say, Rhonda, what should I get my heart rate up to? I got this watch that counts it. My response is use perceived exertion. You want to get your heart. So what you perceive. So I can't give you a number because I don't know your body, and I can't put you on these machines that they have at MSU that can determine all this stuff in the kinesiology lab. But I can tell you that you know when you are exerting yourself too high. So you want to be at a point where you can still communicate, but you know you are exerting yourself. You're out of breath. You want to sustain that for 30 minutes because that is going to strengthen your heart. That is going to strengthen the your cardiovascular infrastructure, the arteries, the veins, the capillaries. That is going to help them move blood and circulation and nutrients to all the parts of your body. So what does that mean, Rhonda? That means even when I am sitting, when I have worked my cardiovascular system, it's still going to work good. I have backup systems, because when you exercise and you push your cardiovascular system, what it does is it creates, I can't think of the word right now, collateral circulation is what it's called. Your body makes extra circulation backup, and it's almost like an adaptation response. So you have enough there to do what the work you're doing. So the next time you do it, you can do even more, right? That's why we exercise. So when I'm sitting and when I'm relaxed, I have this backup system. So my body is still working well. That's the difference between somebody that has a habit of movement, they built a fit body, to somebody that has not developed a habit of movement. Your body is working for you even when you're not working. Strength, on the same vein, strength is building muscle, doing different things like barbells. You can use body weight, you can use dumbbell, you can use elastic bands. And when I get back to headquarters and I'm able, I'm going to be sending out some elastic bands. I have some in my storage area, but I haven't been able to send them out to members because we are on this executive order. But as soon as I can, I'm mailing that stuff out. So if you get it, it's just because I'm trying to get rid of it and give it to you. You might find it at your door. But you can, I want to encourage you, and especially my women in the room, okay? We need muscle. Everybody does, okay? Men, you need it too. It's just that your body is built where you can achieve it without as much effort as women do. We have to be a bit more intentional because of our hormonal infrastructure. But we can build muscle. I prove it. I don't have a picture to show you, but I have some muscle on me, and I know you guys too. You have it too. If you're able to walk around and stand and go upstairs, you have muscle, okay? What I want to encourage you to do is be intentional about maintaining it, because this is key, okay? As we get more chronologically superior, our body's hormones don't, yeah, we get better and better. I believe it, and you say Rhonda told you, okay? But your your body does better. That is the fountain of youth, muscle, because what happens as hormones decline, the hormones that support muscle decline. So any muscle you have, the quality and quantity starts to decline if you're not intentional about preserving it, okay? Number one. And when I say intentional, you have to do actions that build it in order for it just to be sustained, okay? It's hard to build muscle, okay? I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care what they're posting out there. If somebody told you, oh my God, you guys, get hashtag gains, I gained 15 pounds of muscle in a week, you put on the comments, liar, hashtag liar. It's physiologically impossible to gain that much muscle, even for a 20-year-old male that is a college athlete. It takes about, for someone to put on muscle, at the average, I'll say it this way, at the average, a young 25-year-old healthy male, it would take him a month to put on 2 to 5 pounds of muscle on performance enhancement drugs. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. Yeah, that's how hard it is, working every day with the coach on. So it's hard to put on muscle, but that's the goal. We want to work towards it. That should be our goal. So putting on muscle is about picking up heavy things and putting them back down and repeat. Okay, put that in your notes. Pick up something heavy, put it back down, repeat. And repeat it at least twice a week, and do it in maybe 30-minute sessions. And our session next week is about strength training, and we'll get more specific about that. Flexibility, again, I recommend that everybody do something for stretching, for flexibility, like stretching every day. Now, most literature will say after exercise. That's, of course, that you want to stretch your muscles after exercise. I propose to you that you stretch first thing in the morning. I propose to you that you stretch your muscles after sitting for a prolonged period of time, okay? So if I'm sitting at my desk answering emails, working on a project, within 60 to 90 minutes, I'm going to stand up to reset my brain, to recover, let my body increase circulation, and I'm going to include stretching in that, okay? Because that promotes flexibility. Because this is the thing, when most of us, it's even a good thing, you know, we're sitting, we're concentrating on our work for an hour. During this pandemic, a lot of us are stressing our muscles, so they're tense. We're sitting in a tense manner. Even during meetings, anticipating what the next information will be that we get. So I'm suggesting to counteract that muscle tension every time you stand up, and that has to be intentional too, that you stretch, take a stretch break. So that might be reaching up over your head one side and doing it the other side. That may mean letting your head, your ear fall to your shoulder, holding that, yeah, and back up to the other side and stretching. So stretching through this upper musculature of your body, your lower back. And this is key. This is a free tip, okay? A lot of people nowadays who have sedentary jobs, I'm talking about office jobs, sitting at a computer, we're at risk for disabilities related to back injury from sitting, okay? What happens when you sit? And I'm gonna move this screen. What happens when you sit is that, that's me at my office. That what happens when you sit is that your muscles, your hip flexors and your quadriceps, those are the muscles that are in the front of your leg. The back of your leg is hamstring and glute. The front of your leg is hip flexors. Like if you put your hand on your lap right now, those are your quads. If you move up towards your stomach, those are your hip flexors, the part that bend. When we're sitting for a long time over several days and weeks, that's our common posture. Those muscles start to shorten, okay? They start getting tight. And if you combine your hormonal situation and your age situation, they're getting shorter and less flexible if we're not intentional about how we treat them and how we behave. You have to be intentional about stretching that area, because what happens, that area gets shorter. What it does is it weakens the area in the back, those muscles in your lower back. So what the long-term outcome is first starts as stiffness, then it becomes back discomfort. And then one day you're walking around and you turn to grab something and your back goes out. You relate it to turning to get something, or I'll be honest, one day you just get out the bed and a leg falls off, and I'm just you just move around and something just falls, you know, your arm fall off, it don't work right, or your leg don't work right anymore. I propose, I'm blaming posture, okay? How we're sitting. I want you to be mindful now about how you are sitting in your chair. I want you to be mindful about posture. And I'm gonna call this, I'm not gonna say it's a free tip, but I do have it on this PowerPoint. If you're not doing anything at all, make sure you're engaging in proper posture. Now, this is the thing. Proper posture is aligning your ears with your shoulders, okay? Aligning your knees with your ankles. And you are pulling your chest up. And what happens, you guys, automatically, you engage your core. Try it automatically. Now, I'm not going to charge you $19.99 for this. I know some of you have been out on Facebook and Instagram and you're paying $29.99 for stuff promises. This is free. Mesa's giving you this free. When you sit in this posture, you automatically, I want you to get mindful of your core right now and pull your navel into your spine. Can you feel that? You feel that, how that is almost protective around your lower back. Now, this is the thing. It requires energy to do this, right? You have to be intentional, right? You have to be mindful. And this is the frosting on the cake. You are potentially burning more calories sitting when you sit engaging in proper posture versus a relaxed, unprotected posture, okay? You are contributing to your total daily calorie expenditure because muscle uses more energy, okay? When you engage muscle, you use more energy. And I'm gonna talk about that more when we talk about creating muscle. But that's why we need more muscle, because muscle, it makes the metabolic difference. Hormones and muscles, okay? So, last thing with movement and how I conceptualize movement. Within my encouragement to move, you also have to make sure you are absent doing things that are not movement. So sleep, rest, and recovery. That includes brain rest, recharging, and breaks. Make sure you're taking your breaks. If you are engaged in that 3 or more days a week of fitness, you're on your elliptical, you're jogging, you're in the gym, you're doing high intensity interval training, make sure that you are taking a day of recovery, okay? Make sure you are resting your body because your body has to recover. When we do exercises, when we do strength training, we are basically breaking down our body. So in order for the adaptation, the desired adaptation to take place, we have to rest and give our body an opportunity, a time to recover. Oh, my time is running out. And if you have to leave, that's okay. Remember, this will be on our Mesa channel. Somebody put that in the chat room, our Mesa channel, where they can get these YouTubes. And we'll be sending out this video and a PowerPoint after this is over. Really quick, so avoid sitting more than an hour. Some 60 minutes to an hour. Get up, recharge your brain because you're getting circulation in your brain. Expand your lungs. Take some deep breaths in and out. Get that oxygen in. Remember, oxygen goes to the blood travels. If you want to be your most productive, your most creative, make sure you're taking time to increase circulation to the brain. Engage in proper posture. That requires you being intentional and mindful. If you have to put a note on your computer, on your wall to say, okay, sit up straight. I'm telling you guys, as we get chronologically better, our body is going forward with gravity. So we have to intentionally do things to bring it back up, okay? We have to work on it. We have to think about it. I say aim for 8,000 steps per day. I'll be honest with you. My goal is set at 15 to 20,000. I posted that on Facebook, and somebody was like, how are you getting 15 to 20,000 steps a day? I said, I'm not. That's my goal. Don't set a goal that you're doing. That's not a goal. Set a goal that you want to reach. So it's still my goal today. I haven't reached it. I may get it maybe 2 or 3 days a week. I don't get that every day. So, but that's my goal is 15. And that's me. I've already mapped it out. I know if I walk my dog to the park and back, that's 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. And that ranges usually, depending on how fast or slow he lets me go, 10 to 12,000 steps. Throughout the day when I'm in the house, I try to get some steps. I'll leave out for my break. I'll just go through the court and walk, a 10-minute walk, okay? And then later on the break, I'll try to get a 10-minute walk. Or let's say at 2 o'clock, I'll jump up off my seat and I'll go down on the floor and I'll do pizza lifts and hydrants. Does anybody remember pizza lifts and hydrants to exercise? You're on all four. You guys aren't old enough, but I used to work at this fitness center back in the 80s called Elaine Powers, and it was all women. And we used to do this exercise session, and they do them now, but pizza lifts and hydrants are when you are on all four and you're lifting your leg up in the air. It works the glutes and the hips and the thighs. I get down and I'll do 4 sets of 25. Get back up, get back to my computer. So I'm getting stuff during the day and increases my circulation. I feel good. It hits my core. I'm getting my legs. I'm working on the glutes. I don't want sleepy glutes. You know, that's an epidemic in sedentary work. Sleep. You don't know anything about that. Ask your physical therapist what sleepy glutes are. Okay. Get at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise. That can be elliptical. That could be jog. That could be a power walk. Okay. That's the part where you're getting your heart rate up. That is going to help you lose weight and reduce your risk factors for chronic health conditions. Choose an activity you enjoy. If you don't like going to the gym, don't go to the gym. If you like playing soccer, play soccer. If you like doing volleyball, do volleyball. If you like walking, do walking. And you can turn a neat walk, NEAT, into a hit walk. And I do this sometimes. I walk at a very leisure pace, and then I'll walk really fast for 30 seconds. And I'll do that for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, okay? So choose an activity you enjoy. Stretch when you start your day, and stretch again between sitting for prolonged periods of time, and stretch after your exercise session. And I included this. This is my move assessment. So use this every day, and it can just gauge if you're moving enough, or kind of trigger you, provoke you, inspire you, motivate you, keep it in front of you of things you need to do every day. Now, you might not get every one of these every day. That's okay. It's no wrong answer. But what I want to encourage you to do is move more with the goal of health, wellness, and well-being, okay? And do it in a mindful way where you are focusing in on the action, okay? That is good for the brain. If you might not be able to do it all the time, but try to be intentional about doing it. Perhaps taking a mindful walk. A mindful walk is focusing in on your feet, how your feet feel, what the sun is doing. Look at the birds. You're noticing what is happening in real time. You're not worried about what might happen in the future, or you're not depressed about what happened in the past. It's just about the moment. We got to start harnessing the moment, okay? And so July 8th, we're talking about strength training. I believe it is July 15th, 23rd. It's on our website. We'll be talking about sleep. Sleep well so you can move well, okay? You can register at these places. If you're on Facebook, go out to our Facebook page. Our website, you can register there. We're on Twitter and we're on Instagram. Follow us. Do me a favor, is let me know any questions you might have about strength training. You can email me, okay? rjones@mesa.org. Any material you would like me to cover at the next session. I like to provide information that you need. I like to help you out where there is a need. So if you can share with me any information that you are in need of, and I can try to help you the best I can. I love to help people. That gives me joy. I have so much joy right now just talking to you. Give me a second. I want to see who's in the room. Thank you for coming.